Boop, the one you linked, I can't help but notice. Why is the last tier Smash? Was this a different type of tier list? We actually don't need an F tier for this. I don't think there's actually any characters that are F tier. For those who don't know, hello, my name's Flats. I'm a long-time Overwatch streamer. I have a bit of a reputation for predicting metas, predicting how things are going to go. But I've been holding off on making this tier list, even though I'm at 64 hours now, just because I wasn't 100% confident. And the reason why I'm not 100% confident is because, one, it's still so early and everyone's learning. And I think everyone's tier lists are probably going to end up looking kind of stupid in a few weeks. But I know how the content game goes and everyone's rushing to the door to get it out first. But I'm much more confident now than I was, say, like 2 days ago. So I'm going to do it. But I will say, I kind of like where Riles has gone so far. Everything feels like it has a place and it feels strong. There's only like one character I would say that doesn't feel like they're strong in any way. And it's probably not the one you're thinking of, because I've seen other people's tier lists. I think that some of the characters have insane potential. First off, the way I typically like to do these is I like to go in order for tank, DPS, and support. There's already one with better pictures. Can you link me that one? Well, we were going to start with Venom, but no longer starting with Venom now. We're actually starting with Doctor Strange. I have not put enough hours into Doctor Strange. I personally find Strange very boring. The reason why I found him very boring is just playing against Stranges. A lot of times they just sit there and they hold their shield and they do like absolutely nothing. But like sometimes that's what you got to do on tank. And I actually think Strange is arguably the best tank in the game because of that. He doesn't have a cooldown on his shield like Cap does. And every time I'm getting rolled by like a team, like they are steamrolling. And I know I'm solo tanking, by the way. I'm like, shit, I can't do anything. Like I feel like I can't do anything on any character at the moment. Strange is kind of my fallback, or one other, because like those just have so many resources to survive. But like I don't feel that impactful unless I'm ulting. I just kind of shut everyone else down, which is kind of a little dumb in my opinion, but I think that's more of a flaw in the other tanks. I've already heard the complaint from many people that they think that the tank role or Vanguard role is not, you know, not as fun as some of the others. I think tanking in video games is something you have to genuinely enjoy, and I do genuinely enjoy tanking in this game, but I understand why people say that. That could change as people learn how to play the game. Next up is Groot. I think Groot is really good until he isn't. Groot is really, really, really good at isolating chokes and isolating tanks off from their team and punishing bad players. What ends up happening with Groot is Iron Wall. If you try to put it in front of the cart, it will instantly explode. So like if they're fighting on cart on a payload map where Groot will be pretty good, it's hard to put his wall down sometimes because you're just going to get your wall rolled constantly. So you end up having to put your iron wall like on like an off-angled wall somewhere. But yeah, I think he's good. But at the same time though, there hits a point where you just do nothing other than just be a wall. Like you just sit there and put up walls all day long and play Fortnite kinda, but you don't actually like kill anything. You don't actually have pressure. I don't feel as impactful on Groot. I feel like I'm a stabilizer on Groot. Does that make sense? But he's strong though, in his own way. But his power comes from his walls. His power doesn't come from his left click or his right click or hell, even his ult. His ult sometimes doesn't even feel that impactful. I feel like most of the tank ults outside of Strange feel, or even Hulk, feel much less impactful than say the DPS or support. Thor. I think Thor is really good. I don't know if I'm ready to put him in S. I saw Boger put him in S. So I played a bunch of Thor yesterday because I was like, oh, Boger knows what he's talking about. And especially in the solo tank, you kind of get rolled a little bit. You're just not tanky enough. But if you do have another tank with you, you put out crazy good damage. I would argue Thor is one of the most fun tanks because it's one of the only tanks you can actually 1v1 players on. You can actually win like 1v1 and kill things. Like you actually have stopping power. And that's why I think Thor's really fun. I really enjoy playing Thor. I just don't think he's the best tank in the game, but he's still really strong. Venom. Venom was what I thought was going to be the best tank in the game because of the beta. And he hadn't gotten changes, so I thought he was still going to be the best tank in the game. And I think that's actually true for 99% of players. Actually, pause really quick. Let me reiterate something. This tier list is going to be completely my own personal opinion based on my experiences. And there's going to be some things that I think will heavily disagree with the general consensus opinion, and I will explain when I get to those why I think that is. Venom is one of them. Venom, I think for 95% of the player base is a pub stomper tank that will go crazy. I think you can absolutely jump their backline and roll. When you get to really high ranks, the Mantis players, the Luna Snow players, the Cloak players, they're just too good. They will sleep you. They will freeze you right before you hit your E. Because the way Venom works is you have to get to really low HP, then pop your E to get your shield and get back up to like 1,000 HP. They will sleep you right before you do it though. And that way they just burst you and you die. You don't get to actually hit your button. Venom actually has lost a lot of value because of that. I still think he's good though. Just once you get up to the really high ranks, he's not going to be that great. I think Strange has just been better. Magneto. I'm going to have a hard time ranking Magneto because he's actually the tank I have the least amount of playtime on. I find Magneto sort of boring, personally. He's just not for me. I think that Magneto is super strong. I think that he is the best tank versus 3 DPS. If they are playing solo tank 3 DPS, playing Hawkeye, Hela, whatever else, this is your go-to. Because the shield has unlimited health, but it's on a timer, right? So like you basically play around your ability to like survive, right? I think that I'm debating between an S- and an A+. I personally don't have enough hours on Magneto to say that I think he's super, super great, but I've played against other players that play Magneto, and they just stand there and do absolutely fuck all, and they do great. Magneto is S if he has his team up, but that requires your team to play Witch, and Witch is not good. So even though, yes, I agree, the team up actually makes him insanely good. Without it, he's much worse. And Witch is a significantly worse character to have on your team than the current really good DPS. We'll talk about DPS in a minute. I agree though. I agree with you. If you have a Witch on your team and you go Magneto, I'll give you the S for sure. Without it though, I just can't in good faith think Magneto's like a pick whenever. I think Strange can be picked almost wherever with 1 tank or 2 tanks. Cap. Oh man, I love me some Cap, dude. Cap is funny. I love Cap. I've been having such a fucking blast playing Cap. Dude, he's hilarious. He's so funny. I just run around in circles and nobody... I think he needs a small damage buff. Maybe somewhere. I don't know. Or like the thing that feels really bad is like the shield cooldown. That feels really terrible. It feels so ass. And with the team up with Thor, I think he's actually pretty good. I'm going to give him a solid B. I think that the more I've put time into Cap, I think he's actually not as bad as everyone says, myself included. I think my early opinion of, wow, Cap fucking blows, is now become, okay, like, I can see where I can use him, but he's still not, like, optimal. The way you play Cap is you have the fear of God. The way you play Cap is you run around with the fear of God in you. And you constantly assume that every single person is out to get you. And so what you try to do is you just run until you find someone in a dark alley by themselves and you 1v1 them. But if someone else shows up to help, run immediately. Don't ever commit your slam. Because, by the way, you know the slam, like the jump up slam? You know it does 30 damage, right? 30 damage. Yes, it does 30 damage. Super Soldier Slam. Slam down from the sky on a target area to launch up enemies. Damage, 30. And then you also have Liberty Rush, which is the shield bash, which also does 30 damage, chat. So the way you play Cap that I've currently been doing is I don't ever use those abilities to engage, to fight anyone. I use them to run. There's also another tip. I'm going to give you a small Cap tip, right? I feel like I should make a separate video for Cap tips. Whatever, you get it all in one. You turn on auto sprint, right? Like toggle sprint, so you're running the entire time, you never stop running. And then anytime someone shows up, immediately sprint, jump, slam, dash, run! Just start fucking running to it. Just start fucking sprinting away. You know what happens? One of two things. They chase you and they waste time because they're chasing you, or they leave you alone. And you just run until you find the next player that's in a dark alley by themselves. So I play Cap. I'm not fucking with you. I'm dead ass. But he's super fun. My favorite hero in the game so far, or my favorite tank to play, Hulk. I think if Venom was meta, would be the second best tank in the game. I thought Venom was going to be hard meta. So my prediction early on was that Hulk was going to be the second best tank in the game, because Hulk and Venom have great synergy. Venom, though, at the higher ranks, doesn't really work that great. So thus, Hulk actually doesn't work that great with Venom. The problem with Hulk is you have to do insane, god-like moving mountains to do the same thing that someone on Strange can do by going. So why do it? I will say if you've played Overwatch, Hulk's ult is a lot like Winston Primal, where I think if you get really good at the mechanics, you can just frag out. But the problem is, though, you can get slept, stunned, And also, dude, stop using the double Q, man. That shit fucking sucks. Stop doing it. It's a waste of goddamn time. You fucking go, stomp, and you healed them. Like, okay, dude. Like, it's like, all right, man, fucking relax over there. I wish Hulk was better. I genuinely wish Hulk was better, but like, once you start getting up there, it's tough. If you're in most ranks, I think if you get really good at Hulk, you actually can kind of frag out though. Like, when I was playing casual games, like before ranked hit, I was pub stomping. I was like, oh my God, Hulk is crazy good. I'm gonna be insane. And then I started getting slept and antied and webbed, and it went badly. All right, last up from the tanks, the biggest bait in the history of gaming, Penny. I think Penny is actually the bait character of this game. And now here's why. People come in my chat all the time and tell me how good Penny is. They're like, Penny's really good. Pick Penny, pick Penny. Penny is good if nobody fucking shoots her. And Penny, 95% of the time, just stands there and does fuck all with her spiders around the corner. And she gets so much value because of that. She does one thing really good. No, she does lock down an area, that's true, but there's one thing she does really good. She's a very good anti-dive character. If they're playing hard dive, we're talking Venom, we're talking Hulk, we're talking Iron Fist, we're talking Black Panther, maybe even Spider-Man. Penny is insane. Penny's web stun is insanely strong against those characters. You gotta hit it though. But without it, he just stands there and does fuck all. If they have a team that's competent and understands to shoot the Penny, like their DPS, like your team's DPS or their team's DPS don't know, like if they know, like if they're just trying to win the 1v1s against the other duelists the entire time, Penny will dominate. But if they know, hey, we have to push the tanks out before we go for the 1v1s with the DPS, the Penny will fall over. That's what I've found in my experience. But I think Penny will dominate most people's ranks. So I think there'll be a lot of people in chat, or even that watch this video later, that'll go, hey, I think Penny's really, really, really good. And she probably is for where you're playing. Absolutely. And I thought so too, until you start really playing against those better players, which is what my original assumption was going to be. Once you start playing better players, they just headshot her on cooldown and she falls over. Her ult is also the biggest bait. Like that ult is so fucking bait. It's funny as shit. The mines are good, yeah, but the mines are noob bait. Like, you know how often like somebody walks out of spawn just explodes right now to the mines? Like it's like Overwatch 1 Junkrat trap, right? Like in Overwatch 1, people will put a Junkrat trap on the door with a mine and walk away, and then someone walks out and exploded every time, right? Like that used to happen every fucking day. But we're 3-4 days. Today is December 11th. The game came out 4 days ago, right? Like 5 days ago. It's gonna fucking happen, right? It's gonna happen for a while. But once people get past that, it's like, all right, now what, you know? Literally, people fall for it all the time now. I mean, I don't know about you, but people don't fall for it all the time in my ranks anymore. I haven't seen an actual juicy one. Not like on the door. Like, you put them like hidden places, right? But like the actual... Didn't that happen to you yesterday? It did! It did! It did happen to me yesterday! But I survived. I lived. Oh, actually, no. That one was different. That one was in a different spot. There was one on like a right side room. Like, I was by myself and I walked... Yeah, that was a different one. But like... I survived the one on the door. I lived that one. Anyways, Penny, I think, is a bit of bait. Here's your tanks, though, for now. Magik. I think Magik has potentially insane capabilities. I just haven't bumped into insane Magik players yet. So I kind of want to put her in B, but I think she's really good and has some really good team ups. So I kind of want to put her in A. I think I'm going to put her in A. I'm reaching a little bit. I think Magik has insane potential, but there's not really that many Magik players at the moment, because why play Magik when you can stand still on Hela and just shoot them in the head? Why play Magik and get all these cooldowns and all these jumping in and whoosh, whoosh, oh, limbo, when I can just go click, 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 dead. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point, man? Why run with big sword when I can just go pew, pew, pew? You know, why? What's the point? Hela's the best DPS in the game. It's actually not close yet. And someone might say in chat, well, Flats, what about Hawkeye? There's something in Overwatch land called consistency. And for a long time, not recently, someone's going to say, what about right now? Shut up. Pretend it's months ago. Widow, for example, has insane high skill ceiling with only one shot in the game for a while after they took away Hanzo's. But Widow wasn't getting played that much because the consistency of hitting consistent headshots and deleting enemy players was not very high. Like the amount of value you'd have to hit or how many shots you'd have to hit to get value was really, really hard versus like how hard it was to like actually get opportunities when you could pick something like Cassidy or Sojourn, right? And walk up, and yes, you didn't one-shot them, but you did much more damage consistently, and so you would roll people over time, right? Hawkeye is a good example of that, where he has an insane one-shot potential, but it's a little bit harder to hit consistently than Hela. So Hela has really high consistent damage, where she can just 2-3 shot you. Well, Hawkeye needs to hit the first shot for a one-shot, be it charged up, but if he misses it, he will still need 2 or 3 body shots, right? And it's a little bit slower too, and you have a little bit less survivability. So even though, let's just get it out of the way with real quick. Hawkeye is also S tier. Well, is Hawkeye S tier? I don't know if I would even say Hawkeye's S tier. I think Hawkeye might be A tier. No. Well, okay, I'm gonna put him back down here for now. I'm not done thinking on that one yet. Shit, what's his name? Is it Namor? Namor? How about Namor? I thought I remember in game it's Namor. I haven't seen any really good Namor players. I haven't played him very much. He's probably one of my least played characters. This might not be a fair rating, but I haven't seen any insane ones. I feel like I haven't seen any that make like a huge difference on the game. And every once in a while I hear that and fucking whale jumps in. I'm gonna put him very much in the middle of the road. I actually don't know where to put this guy too much. What I do know to put though is potentially the worst hero. No, sorry. Let me correct myself. The worst hero in the game, Iron Man. Iron Man is the worst character in the game. Now you might be saying, Flats, pause! How are you saying that's the worst character in the game? Let me tell you why it's the worst character in the game. What does he even do? Fly around. Doesn't do much damage. His fucking beam, like there's no point. Like there's not anything he actually does. Storm is better at flying around. He shreds tanks. Yeah? You want to shred a tank? Here you go. Here's your tank shredder. Here's your tank shredder. Here's your tank shredder. Hook the tank in. There's so many things. Iron Man doesn't do anything that's really well. The big bomb? You mean the maximum pulse? And then just like everyone walks away. It's like, okay, see you later. It's not hard to dodge either. It only gets you if you're not ready for it and you're like kind of not paying attention. He just sucks. There's no reason to play him. Especially when you get up to the higher ranks and people know how to aim, you just fall over, right? You just fall over. I get it, and he probably might feel strong in some ranks where people don't have the ability to shoot or aim very well. But like once you get to the players who kind of can aim even a little bit, he just falls apart. Punisher. I think Punisher is super strong. And I say that as a tank player who gets fucking sick of playing against this fucker. Judge. You know what I learned last night? You know his ult is uninterruptible? You know the Punisher ult is uninterruptible? But not Thor ult, not Magneto ult. Well, actually, I don't know if Magneto ult is because he's technically eating the projectiles, to be fair. Like all these tank ults that are like super hard to build up, all interruptible. You know what? This guy fucking pops 2 guns. Guess what? He can walk up and just deletes everybody. Oh my god, it's tough. I won't say he's like the best DPS in the game or anything like that. I think there's definitely better than him, but man, I'm so sick of getting shotgunned. I'm so sick of getting ulted, dude. And also, I mean, not once you get to in the higher ranks, the turret's not really that good. But if you're like playing in like, you know, the average ranks, I wouldn't be surprised if you play against his turret a lot and the turret can kind of fucks you up. You probably know what I'm talking about. The second worst DPS in the game, Scarlet Witch. Now, before everyone starts screaming and going, what? Hear me out. Hear me out. Remember I said earlier, there's going to be parts of this tier list that some of you are going to disagree with and some people are going to agree with. I also said that there's going to be parts that you wildly disagree with because my experience is going to be very much different than yours. The reason why my experience is so much different is because her damage is good, but it's just like a slow, consistent. And what makes that so powerful in the average player's rank is burst damage from characters like Hela or Hawkeye are not that prevalent. You don't have players hitting 3 out of 4 shots on Hawkeye or on Hela. They hit 1 out of 4, right? So they're doing much less damage. So your consistent damage is much more powerful versus their burst. Once you get up in the different higher ranks where they hit burst shots more often, the burst shots are more powerful. With burst shots being more powerful, you die easier because it's much easier to heal Wanda damage than it is to heal Hela damage or Hawkeye damage. You can't heal a one-shot. You can absolutely heal a damage over time. I think her ult Also, though really powerful, is also one of those ults that once you get really higher up, you need to have a combo with it. For example, a Strange Portal, right? Like, if you have a Strange that pops Portal at the same time that she ults, and you pop the ult over them, they don't have much time to react, it can be very strong. If you just pop it and start flying into the enemy team, you're gonna get CC'd, you're gonna get shot out of the sky, and you just die. So even though I don't think she's bad, I don't think she even needs a buff, I just think she's just not that great. You know, maybe I should really drive this home. You know what? I'm gonna drive this home. I don't think she's the same tier as Iron Man, to be fair. I don't think she's the same tier as Iron Man. So either I need to make a tier for Iron Man below. So, like, let me just make this clear. I think Iron Man's probably the worst character. Scarlet Witch, I don't think needs buffs or anything. I just think that okay, how do I describe this to you? In competitive hero shooters, burst damage is very powerful and very impactful. Wanda does not have burst damage. She is extremely good at doing consistent damage, and she will probably have gold damage in all of your games, like the most damage in the lobby. She might even have most kills in the lobby. But the thing is, though, once you climb up to the higher ranks, that will get out healed a lot of times. And burst damage is king, because even if you're doing a lot of damage, their burst damage characters will kill your teammates before you can kill them. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I understand if you completely disagree with that. That's totally fine. This is my experience versus your experience. My experience has been from the quick play in the beginning when the game came out to then transferring into ranked and playing against a lot of people that I've played against in Overwatch and stuff like that, like very skilled gamers. So just so you know, that's why I think that. Spidey-Man. I think Spider-Man has the potential to be an insanely good hero, but I don't see anyone playing him. So I think Spider-Man is going to fall victim to something I'm also going to talk about with Wolverine, where he could be really good, but he's so hard to play, and how much effort you have to put in to get value is so much worse than just picking Hela and shooting him in the head. I can pick Hela and shoot you in the head twice and you die. Or I can pick Spider-Man and go to finally get one kill, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and I get that because I played a bunch of fucking Hulk, right? So like, it's tough, right? It's tough. It's really hard. So why do all this shit for one kill when you could just pick Hela and shoot him in the head twice? Starlord. I think Starlord is tough to say because I've not played any insane Starlords, but unfortunately B tier is my B tier is kind of my, like I said with this whole list, okay? Do me a favor. First off, take a breath. Okay? B tier is kind of the average / I'm not totally sure tier. The game has been out for 4 days. Yes. Or 5 days. Yes, I have 65 hours. But also, the game's brand new. So it's still early, right? Still early. We're not 100% sure. There could be things that we don't even know about yet. So when I put someone in B, part of it is I think they're kind of average. They could be slightly below average. It could be slightly above average, depending on who you're talking to, right? B is not trashed here, right? And so when I'm putting Starlord in B, it's a lot of it is I've seen some okay ones, but I haven't seen any super impactful ones. I haven't seen some insane ones, right? You could absolutely bump somebody down to C, or you could even bump them up to A. Some more than others. Like, I think I would bump Starlord and probably more down, and probably Spider-Man more up, just because I think potential's there. But like, I have no idea where to go with Namor. I think it's a solid B. Mostly just because like, I haven't seen enough of Starlords. I haven't played enough of them. I just don't think the meta favors them yet. It's tough. Storm is another one of those. I feel like I've seen good Storms, but not that many of them. I feel like I haven't seen that many good Storms to the point where like, I'm not even sure where to put her. I kind of want to put her more towards C than B. Because like, when I've played with Storms, I'm typically playing Thor, so I give her a team up. Here's the deal. I think Storm could be a B. I'm leaning more towards bottom of B, so I'm just going to bump her down to C. Whenever I play with a Storm, they heard your takes. It's like the training bot all over again. RIP the trading bot. Anyways, I typically play with a Thor, or when I'm playing Thor, they'll play Storm. So like, you get the team up and they play better. But I also don't think like Storm's like that good. But I also haven't played that much Storm personally. But I also don't really see that many good Storms. So is it because of the character? Is it because people just don't play her? Like what is it actually there. I'm not sure. Like this area right here is a little bit of a gray area. Like point blank, completely honest with you, this area is a bit of a gray area. So I feel like I'm gonna have to reiterate that again for whenever someone skips to the end and goes, oh my God, I saw your tier list and you put this here. All right, well, bitch, listen to what he said. Black Panther. I think Black Panther has insane potential, but I just don't see many good Black Panther players. Like Dive is not that good right now. Like I think he could easily be insanely good, but like not yet, not right now. What's the why do all of these button presses to secure a kill when you could just click on their head twice? Yeah, like of course there's okay, but like here's the deal. Again, with a tier list like this, how do you look at this tier list? Do you look at it as the number one absolute best players you think that are playing a character consistently? Like, okay, let me give you a parallel example. Let me talk about Overwatch for a half a second. Doomfist players in Overwatch. When you rank Doomfist, do you rank Doomfist players off the rank 1 Doomfist players, or do you rank them off of the average good players or the average normal player? Like, where do you do it? When I do it, it's typically the average good player, not the number 1 players. It's the average good player. If you go off the average player, well, that's when you start like really fucking up the tier list, because you have to kind of go from top down, because then the characters like, in this case, Wanda would probably be pretty damn good, or in Overwatch's case, Junkrat would be pretty good, right? But you go average good. If you go number 1 peak, players that have been grinding that for like 60, 70 hours already since the game's come out, yeah, they're gonna look insane. But why pick Panther and spend 60 hours trying to learn combos to get a single kill when I can pick Hela and shoot you in the head fucking twice? Like, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And I'm going to stick true to this the whole way through, because I have something coming up that probably a lot of people are going to go, what the fuck? I think Panther has insane potential and can be extremely good. But like, I'm not really scared of Panther players. Like whenever I play against one, I have not seen a scary Panther player in a while. They were scary in the beta, but like so far since the game has come out, I've not seen some insane ones. This is one of those cases where it can actually go up to A, but I'm going to put it in a B because it's like, not sure yet. Could be insanely good, but I'm still kind of hovering. Bucky, Winter Soldier. This might be a hot take. I think he's insanely good. I think Bucky does 2 things really good. Number 1 is the hook. If you play Groot or any tanks with like stun and you have a Bucky on your team and they hook the enemy tank in, oh my goodness, it's GG. That guy just explodes. That one ability alone gives Bucky insane power, both at the really high level where players are really fucking good at the game, and in the average player level where players are, say, you know, the average. Well, I mean, I was gonna say Plat, but Plat's actually kind of high rank at the moment, just because like the game hasn't fully progressed. But like, you know what I mean? Like the average player can get good value out of Bucky. And then the ult, oh my God, the ult is so damn good. The fucking slam, again. You know what I mean? Like, it is crazy how fucking good it is. And I think his kit flows really well. The uppercut stun, pretty good. I think he's just really good. Like, if you have a good Bucky player on your team, you're in a good spot. Moon Knight, I think is low-key broken. Part of it's probably because everyone's a little bit new to the game. You know, everyone's a little new and like still learning. Those fucking unks piss me off. Like I can never hear them until it's too late. I lost a game the other day because I died to a Moon Knight of the moon because I was in a small room and the radius of the circle was bigger than the room. So the room didn't have like an indicator on it. So I'm standing in the room on Thor going out the fucking room, like shooting at people. And then all of a sudden my health bar disappears. I'm like, the fuck happened? The fucking moon opened up on my head, but there was nothing there. There was no indicators. We didn't see shit. Like I just died. Like that was it. Like the only thing, I figured it out when I had 150 health left. I went, because I saw the thing hit the ground. I went, oh, I'm in the ult. And then I died. Like it was instant. Otherwise, the ult's not that strong. That was like one of those times where I feel like the ult kind of got an advantage because like you can't see the ring. But it's not the ult that's powerful. It's the bouncing off of other characters. So like if you play grouped up with another tank, if you're playing 2 tanks, he just sits there and spams the tanks. And like the 2 tanks will just keep bouncing off each other. And it's like, Just dive moon. So how many characters on this list have you noticed that the highest ranking are dive characters? Just curious. You notice something? Dive's not as good as the hard poke. So like you can go dive, but you're going to be playing an inferior cop at the moment. Psylocke is one, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Psylocke's a dive character. Psylocke's not a dive character. I'm gonna be honest. This sounds fucking stupid, maybe, but I don't think it's not a dive character. It's a stealth character that gets into your backline. Is there a difference? Yes. Yes, there is. This is a flanker, not a dive character. Dive and flank is a little bit different. Yes, they can be used interchangeably. The reason why it's different is because Psylocke doesn't have insane mobility. She does actually have pretty good mobility, but like you're not using the same type of dive mechanics as Hulk, as Venom, as Spider-Man, as Panther. Those are characters I would say that are dive characters. She needs some time to set up. If you don't set up first, then you use your dive tools on the engage and then you're cooked. Because her shift comes back up, what, like every 10 or 12 seconds? You're going to use both of your shifts to engage on the enemy, you're dead. You're fucking cooked. So even though I think Psylocke is arguably... So, okay, let me put this list in perspective. I think Psylocke is arguably the second best DPS in the game. The reason why I put Psylocke so high is she does insane damage. She has that good mobility, and it's not very difficult for her to set up either. So I wouldn't say she's a dive. I'd say she's more flanker. And when you say just go dive, I feel like that's such a simplified term at this point. What makes Psylocke so good is her ult is extremely strong. Her survivability is crazy good. She can absolutely fucking delete people, both tanks and players. She's extremely powerful in the 1v1s. Overall, this character's just busted, like in a great way. She's super fun to play. She's awesome. So, and a small hitbox. True, you're not wrong. Not wrong. Great character overall. All right. I knew I had to come back to this eventually. Hawkeye. I'm going to stick to my gut. I'm going to say Hawkeye. There's one thing that's holding back this for me. There are some maps where I feel like Hawkeye isn't the best. But like, if you hit every shot, of course. If you hit every fucking headshot, of course you're going to win every game. But like, how consistently are you, be honest with yourself, how consistently are you hitting every headshot? Now take it one step further. How often are you seeing even the best players consistently hitting headshots? Even the best players are not consistently hitting those headshots. When you can do Hela, they're hitting 80, 90%. Psylocke, 80%, 90%. Bucky, maybe even closer to 50 or 60. But Shroud was hitting headshots constantly. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. There's nothing against Shroud. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Once you start getting into the more difficult ranks where people understand positioning and understand how to play against certain things, yes, Hawkeye is still fucking good. I'm not telling you he's not good, but you are not hitting consistent headshots that often. So it's like, yes, he's very good. Like I feel like you guys are screaming. Like some of you guys are screaming, "Oh my God, how dare you put him so low?" This is A. This is like I'm putting him like just barely out of the top row. Like just barely. Like, are you listening to yourselves? Like these are like what I think is like top tier, and then this is interchangeable. Like these are all interchangeable. Like if you pick a Moon Knight on my team or a Hawkeye on my team, and you're gonna get the fuck off that hero. It's not an S tier, it's an A tier. What's wrong with you, man? Fucking relax. The reason why I'm putting him here is consistency. That's it. And it's the same reason. Okay, follow my fucking logic. It's the same reason why I'm going to put Wolverine in D. Wolverine, some people think, is the worst character in the game. And on some level, I absolutely agree. But I think it's early because I think there is an insanely high skill cap to Wolverine. I played with one Wolverine player who was the best Wolverine I've ever seen. And this guy put the fear of fucking God into me. The actual fear of God. I played Groot, and this man was kidnapping me. Literally kidnapped me. Multiple fights in a row. Like he would jump in, grab me, and then take me away. No, it's not even a bit much. I am 1000% serious. I was getting kidnapped out of the front line. By myself. It happened 4 fights of me hiding. I ended up going Venom to try to survive. You know why I could survive on Venom? Because he would take me off to his fucking corner. I need 1 HP. I'd get to hit my E at the last second, and then I could swing away. This guy was hunting me. I'm not joking. At some point, I was slowly checking a corner, and I went and looked, and this motherfucker was hiding in the corner waiting. He was waiting for me. He literally was looking there to jump my ass, and I ran, and he chased me. He fucking chased me in a ranked game across the map on Wolverine, and I'm on Venom. I was playing with SK and Wanted. You can go ask them. I was screaming for my life. I was like, guys, he's chasing me. I was literally running full speed. And then I got him on my team. We ended up losing, unfortunately, but he literally was annihilating the enemy team. He was literally annihilating him. And the enemy team at the end of the game flamed him and said, Wolverine abuser, like blah, 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 and kept calling him a Wolverine abuser. I was like, first off, when the fuck is anyone's, like, I was genuinely in awe. For anyone who was there, we streamed this, by the way. I was like, guys, when the fuck has anyone ever typed in match chat Wolverine abuser? Like, are you for real right now? Like, what kind of delusions are you? So, okay, first off, really small rant. Some of these players and rivals are the most delusional I've ever met in my entire life. Second off, I'm just saying, I think that it's too early to say Wolverine is the worst character in the game because he might just have an insanely high skill cap, kind of like Black Panther, maybe for this aspect. But the amount of things you need to do to make Wolverine work puts him in the D tier. I don't want to put him in the F tier because F tier, I think, is just like, I don't care how good you get at Iron Man. He's just going to suck. But you could get really good at Wolverine and be good on Wolverine. So that's why he's still going to be in D, even though I think he has insane potential, right? He has insane potential. The amount of work is required to put into being good at this hero is so much worse. It's so much more effort and so much more bullshit than just picking Hela and shooting you in the head 3 times, or picking Psylocke and shooting you 3 times and dashing through you, or picking Bucky and hooking you into their team, or picking Hawkeye and shooting you in the head 1 time, or picking Punisher and shotgunning the tank 4 times, right? You know what I mean? So it's like the value you're getting versus the work that you put in is tough. Squirrel Girl. I think Squirrel Girl is a nice middle of the road character. I think that she's slept on a little bit, but the problem is though, is consistency. If you play really close to the fight, you'll get jumped on and you just kind of die. But if you play further back, it's much harder to hit consistent shots. And because you can't hit the consistent shots, you're not doing anything in those fights. And you end up losing the poke battles to a lot of these characters up top. And if you play further too far back, you probably lose to Psylocke in the back line. But I like playing Squirrel Girl. I think she's fun. I just think that she's just not as powerful as some of the other characters, unfortunately. And as funny as Squirrel Stampede is, it's just like some of these ults just win you the game. Like Hela ult wins you the game. Strange ult wins you the game, wins you the fight. Squirrel Girl ult, like Squirrel Stampede, what the fuck does it do? Like it fucking takes a little chunk of your health bar at most, you know? It's like, okay. Iron Fist. I'm gonna hold your hand as I say this. Iron Fist is not that good. I am going to put him a little higher than I think I was going to. I was originally going to put him in a C. But the reason why I'm going to tell you that he's not that good is because it takes so long to get into the backline to actually get the value and actually go in and start doing stuff, that if you're not playing support, you don't have a problem dealing with them. Supports sometimes have a struggle with dealing with them. The way supports should deal with Bucky, or not Bucky, sorry, Iron Fist, is you have to hit the sleep, you have to hit the freeze, or you play Jeff and run away. Can't kill you. It's not possible. Or Cloak and Dagger, you just survive. Like, he's not that good. Like, he's good at 1v1ing you, especially as a support. But the amount of value it takes for him to get there is not worth it. Like, he just dies. I'm only putting him up this high because I know a lot of people struggle with him. I'm not trying to hit chat with a skill issue. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that, right? That's the reason why I'm putting him in B is like I said, this B tier can go either way, right? Like, this is like I don't really know. My heart has told me that he's not that good. Everyone and their mom has told me that Iron Fist is really annoying and really strong. I don't think he's very good though. So I'm going to put him in the B tier along with the rest of the characters that could go up or down. Oh, Black Widow, easy C. Black Widow's not that good. I love how everybody screamed and freaked out how Black Widow was going to ruin the game before the game came out because of the trailer. And then they were like, haha, we just make little characters look good in the trailer. Stupid. Why wouldn't we make a character look good in the trailer? Stupid. And like, everyone was like, damn, dude, that's fucked up. That's... Everyone had fucking Overwatch PTSD for a second. It was like, oh, Widow's gonna dominate. They were like, ha! Stupid! Why would you make a character look bad in the trailer of hero reveal? Stupid! Like, dude, they actually got us so good. You literally can't even be mad. They got us all. They actually got us so fucking good. Like, I don't have to say much else here. Consistently isn't that great. Headshots are way too hard to hit half the time because there's just fucking too much shit going on your screen. I can't figure out my scope sensitivity for the life of me at this point. You can't actually one-shot people with the headshot. scoped in. You just get sprayed down. Hela just fucking just destroys you. All the other sniper characters have mobility and like they don't have to stand still and scope in like in a game with heavy movement like this one. You just get kind of rolled. So, all right, on to the supports. Cloak and Dagger. I think Cloak and Dagger is one of the best supports in the game. Cloak and Dagger has an insane ult, has Suzu / like invulnerability with the cloak. Cloak is so strong, it's so good. The heals are really good with the wall, or more importantly, the bubble where you put on the ground and like if everyone's standing in it, you're getting healed. So like that's really good for your tanks. Like you can farm up ults really, really quickly. Somebody told me that you can survive, oh my god, what ult was it? Was it Judge, Jury, Executioner? That you can survive 3 Judge, Jury, Executioners while in ult? You can survive 4 Punisher ults? I thought it was 3. You can survive 3 Punisher ults at the exact same time while you're ulting on Cloak and Dagger. Isn't that hilarious? Watch the Boger clip. Can you link me the Boger clip? Mods, can you keep an eye out for the Boger clip?
I'm gonna show you something. I'm coming. Yeah, I want to see. I'm gonna show you something. I'm coming. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see. All right, let me ult.
Against the world.
Judge, jury, executioner.
Huh?
We can't kill her.
Wait, is that like 750 HP per second?
Yeah, we can't kill her with 2 Punisher routes. She doesn't take any damage.
I'm not taking any damage, guys.
Okay, so like I said, my point still stands. Yeah, there you go. Adam Warlock. So I've heard some rumblings that Adam Warlock is really good in the high ranks. I think he's pretty damn good too. I don't think he's insane though. I think he's good. I think he's very good. But I don't think he's like the best. And maybe I'm skill issued for that. I could be skill issued for that. But for right now, I think that once he uses his 2 soul bond thingy, you kind of screwed. You kind of get run over. Adam Mantis duo, make them easily S. Maybe that's what it is, because I also think Mantis is an S. Ah, fuck it, let's throw it up there now. I was gonna say I feel like both of these are S, but you know I'm not sure how I feel about the Cloak and Dagger Mantis backline. I feel like I feel like it's very strong. But sometimes I actually like Mantis with Luna more, potentially. But I think Mantis is super, super good. I think Cloak and Dagger is super, super good. Adam, I haven't played a whole lot of them, but I feel like I've seen some really, really good Adam Warlock players, so I got to give him his respect. Loki. Loki, I think, is slept on. I don't think he's bad, but I also am not sure where to put him. I'm going to put him in the solid B, which is like the tier again where I don't know if I want to put him up to A. I don't know if I want to keep him in B or put him down to C. That is the whole reason why this tier exists. I have to keep repeating it every single time, because if I don't repeat it every single time, someone's going to come in chat with and write me a 19-page essay dissertation on why I'm wrong and why it shouldn't be A tier over B tier. Again, B tier is supposed to be the I'm not 100% sure. It could be up, it could be here, it could be a little bit lower, because again, the game is only 5 days old. But yeah, I think Loki's kind of slept on. I've played against some really, really good Loki players. Loki is low-key slept on. See what you did there. I like that one. But I haven't bumped into that many good Loki players. When I have, though, they're pretty damn good. So, not sure on this one. Oh, I'm gonna make some people mad. Jeff. He's not that great. Wait. Pause. Jesus Christ. Relax. Here is why Jeff is not that good. Once you get up higher to like the better ranks. Jeff does, in my opinion, way less healing than every other support. He also doesn't bring utility. His healing is not up to par of what it needs to be. The speed bubbles are great for speed boosting out of spawn. That's where we're at. Because then you can play something else. The bubbles, though good, just don't bring enough. The ult, the biggest part of Jeff. Once you start getting up there, there's a lot of things that can stop him, right? And even though the ult is still really good in a lot of ways, you have to get a big one with it. every time. If you have good positioning, and you also actually shoot him, you kill him a lot of times. Not in 1v1s. Like if you're in the back line trying to 1v1 a Jeff, you're not killing him. Like he'll survive most of the time, right? But this is a great example of a character that's really strong because you don't know how to play against them. And then as you learn how to play against them, becomes worse and worse. Cloak and Dagger bring a lot to the fight. They bring a lot of damage when they swap to their cloak form, but like they don't really need to be doing a whole lot of damage on Cloak and Dagger. Their healing is really good. They bring a lot of utility with the Suzu cleanse. Actually, Cloak and Dagger is a great example of something that shuts down Jeff. If you try to ult the enemy team and they have a Cloak and Dagger, you missed. Now what? You know? Now what? But listen, right? I think Jeff is fun. I think he's super cool. But like once you get past early on, you can kind of deal with him. You can kind of deal with him. You know, you can avoid him. You know what? Sorry. Let me rephrase. Not deal with him. You can avoid him. Because like killing Jeff underwater is really tough, right? It is actually really hard to do. I get that, right? Does that make sense? Like it's tough to do that, but like he needs to bring more than just running around. Brother, you're going to piss off YouTube. I know. I've made that a career for years, but like I can't not tell you what I think is the truth, right? Like I know it's not what you want to hear. I could lie to you. Do you want me to lie to you? I could lie to you. I could tell you everything's going to be okay. And then tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to hit the lottery. And then when you hit the lottery, don't forget to give 5 subs. Anyways, but like that's not what you need to hear, man. You gotta hear the truth, okay? You gotta hear the truth. And granted, you gotta remember, all of this is my perspective. It's all my perspective because I thought Jeff was insane on day 1 and day 2. And day 3 is when I went, I don't think he's that great anymore. And day 4, I was like, Jeff really isn't as good as some of the other supports, huh? And here we are on day 5 where I'm like, yeah. I mean, he's still fun. He's still cute, but he's just not as good. Luna Snow. I think I'm going to be in a bit of a disagreement here with others. I think Luna Snow is S tier. I think Luna's my favorite support in the game to play. I know that she doesn't have the same type of utility as Mantis or Cloak and Dagger, but she just does crazy heals. And if you have a good tank lineup that you can pump, you're popping your ult like every other fight and you are just juicing. You are going out of control, juicing the fuck out of everyone, every fight ulting. Like it's crazy how much it does. And so some people might say like, you know, an A or even like maybe a B+ or an A, because like some of these other characters have more utility, right? Luna's so good. I love Luna. Luna's probably my favorite support right now. So I gotta give it an easy S. Rocket. This might be a little controversial. I'm gonna put him in the B. Because I don't actually know where to put him. I see some people play Rocket and they do really good. I see some Rocket players and they suck balls. The most valuable thing Rocket brings to the fight to me is the res. The res is the big thing. And his ult. His like, you know, give everyone damage boost, the bongo. Those two things is what puts Jeff over, or puts Rocket over the edge for me. And makes him actually valuable, but his heals kind of blow. His damage doesn't, like, I'm not scared of his damage a lot of times. I'm not thrilled to have a Rocket on my team, but it's nice when I die first and I get rezzed. Now that everybody's placed, is there anybody I want to move? Nah, I think I'm gonna stick to my guns. I pretty much like this the most, and if I look over a chat, I already can tell what's going on over there. I can see everyone and their moms trying to make whatever they think change. And if I look at chat, they might influence my opinion, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to stick with this. This is what it is. Now, granted, I'm going to explain to you one last fucking time, because you probably skipped to the fucking end because you're goddamn too impatient. This tier right here is my average tier / my I am not 100% sure tier. The B tier is my they're good, they're okay, they're middle of the road. They could be higher, they could be lower. For example, I think Spider-Man, or actually more Black Panther, has really high potential and could be easily an A. I also think that Starlord could easily be a C, but I'm not 100% sure because I haven't seen that many good Black Panthers. I haven't seen that many good Starlords. I haven't seen many good Spider-Mans. There's so much you need to do to get even this thing to work. I haven't seen like almost any Namors. Penny, I think, is a fucking bait character, but some people think she's really good. Some people think she's really bad. Captain America, I think, also is like just weird, where like he doesn't do any damage, and I have a lot of fun with him. I thought he was fucking terrible. The more I play him, I think he's better than I thought, but he still does absolutely fuck all for damage. So he could even be a little bit higher if you do with the team up, and he'll also be a little bit lower. All of these pretty much take into account what's the chances you're gonna have him on your team. That's why Magneto is an A instead of S. If you had the Wanda team up, I'd probably say Magneto is S. However, though, because then you have to have a Wanda on your team, which is significantly worse than most of the other DPS. That actually makes your team overall worse. So I'm not going to assume that you have it on your team, because if you have it on your team, then you have other characters on your team that are probably not that great. This is not taking into account most of the team-ups. Some characters will have team-ups more often than others. For example, Thor and Hela will have team-ups more often, because you're going to mostly have Thor or Helas in your game. So you can take into account that you will have Hela's team-up with Thor, because you're going to have a lot of Helas. So if you play Thor during this time, you will have a team-up most likely. Point is, though, at the end of the day, game is new. The game is fresh. It's only day 5. Don't let any streamer or any other player out there bully you off of whatever hero you want to play. Play what you want to play. Have a good time with it. This game is great. This game is a lot of fun. I've been enjoying the absolute hell out of it. It's been a breath of fresh air. It's only day 5. And in a week from now, this could completely change as people just figure out how to play the game and start to understand what they're doing. But I know how the content game goes, and everyone rushes their stuff out. I'm already technically late to put out a tier list video, because I normally only like to put these out when I'm super, super confident. And I'm not super, super confident yet, because the game is new. It's not Overwatch. Like, I can fucking predict the goddamn meta to you in my sleep, because I've been doing it for 7 to 8 years. But either way, I hope this gives you a little bit of insight into maybe some stuff to play, and just go out there and have a good time.